Welcome to the Aspect Ratio, the podcast all about cutting your teeth and getting noticed in the camera business.
Dramatic pause. Today we're taking an in-depth look at colour and light, from concerts to real estate, RGB to natural, and everything in between. Let's start with once a month.
Once a month? Oh, recording once a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that's a nice goal. We'll see how we go.
I
People
do.
love it, we'll do more.
Sticky note.
Sticking up. I reckon it'd be good fun to start every episode off with a would you rather. I know all these, but you have no idea about what these are. Right?
No, I don't. You are popping my cherry.
Yeah. So you got to go into in depth on this one. You really got to consider it.
Oh shit! All right.
Would you rather
No.
use a camera that could only use auto white balance, or a camera with terrible color science?
You're evil.
If you could only pick one, stuck in auto white balance, and we're going to assume it's a pretty bad auto white balance, it likes to flicker, or it's like worse than 8-bit, reds are mostly blotched, greens kind of go a little yellowy, yellowies go a little green, just nothing works out color science.
Either way, you're fucked. You're completely fucked. No matter what you do.
But would you rather?
I'd rather
You
change.
have to pick one.
Okay, I will. I'll change career.
Change career?
Yeah.
I reckon I'd go terrible color science.
Oh, I couldn't be bothered with it. Either way, it's hard. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You have to pick. That's part of the game.
you're still evil.
Otherwise, you end up as your job's to roll in dirt.
Yeah, I don't mind that. No, I am definitely in the camp of. Okay, so basically what this would you rather is would you shoot a nice 10-bit camera with autofocus or a Sony?
I didn't want to say so. So I like some Sony stuff.
No,
but I know
I've
you hate
seen,
their color
I've seen
science.
that. Exactly, but that's not just. I shouldn't say I hate their color science. I mean, we all agree that their earlier versions wasn't great, but essentially they did not have a great color science, and you could fix it. So if the choice was auto white balance or locked off white balance, but shit color science, so a Sony, I'd take the Sony because you can fix it in post.
So would I.
It's not a great way to do it, and it's never the answer. And you shouldn't. You should always try and fix it in camera, or at least get it right in camera. Sorry, but sometimes you just dealt the card that your hand is dealt, or whatever it is.
Whatever that saying goes. Yeah. I've actually put this would you rather in as a point towards our last talking topic of this episode. But I agree. I think
Q&A. All
right. no, we haven't got Q&A for this.
It's fine. Carry on.
But I agree, because I reckon like auto white balance is horrific.
It is, yeah. It's painful. You can definitely within Resolve you can definitely use keyframing and stuff to make it right and stuff. But it's a pain.
So much work.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah. Even just bad
white.
white balance is better than auto white balance. To a point.
Some would agree, some would disagree. Yeah. But I think what we're saying here.
But I'm saying, like, if you went cloudy instead of sunny, kind of thing. Like if you're doing a preset,
you can.
It's so easy to fix.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's because I just hate it every once in a while when you shoot something and they kind of like say your subject looks towards the shade a little bit, their face darkens up, and you see that little color shift. I was like, oh, that's such a pain to fix if you've ever had that.
Yeah, I have. I definitely have. But I err on the side of. Like, I roll, man. I just lock my Kelvins at 5500. I don't care if I'm inside, outside, and fix it.
Yeah.
I just do it in post. But it's just, I know people that change it for every room and stuff and the work I do, and good on you.
I change mine for indoor, outdoor.
I don't have time. I really don't have time. I'm in and I'm out. And auto white balance has burnt me in the past. So that's why I just lock it off.
Yeah.
And mostly I don't change it per room is because I forget. I did for a couple of times.
But if you've got a process and a system of like a workflow that works for you, then
just don't change it.
No issues. Yeah. And the result rocks, so it's all good.
100%. Hey, I think we should move on to the news.
The news?
Yeah.
Have you got some news for us?
No, you meant to say anyway and carry on with your next point.
Anyway, I reckon another cool thing we need to talk about every episode is what we've been working on.
Yeah, because we do some cool stuff, especially if we're a month apart.
Yeah. I like the stuff I've been doing this month. A big part of this episode will be one big job we did this month. Last month. We're the first of the month.
Yes, April Fool's Day.
Last
pinch and a punch.
Slap and a kick.
Whatever.
What have you been doing?
What have I been doing?
Yeah.
I do real estate.
No, but what have you been doing that you've been loving? Because I've seen a few of your jobs that I've been like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Well, you don't just do real estate either.
No. So a bit of my background is live sound and so forth. So I
so that bit is for the second topic, if you see that.
Yeah,
See
I'm fine. I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
God. But a lot of my, which was a fun project this month, but some of my clients, I'll say our clients actually, because there's three of us, it's not just me, they don't go for a typical just show the house video. They want a little bit more of a lifestyle shoot, which I'm okay with. I can dig that. And so we've done a couple of cool ones. I actually did one just last night. Shot it yesterday afternoon and had it ready for delivery by, well, when I say shot in the afternoon, it was, I had it 3 hours later, it was ready to go.
Do you enjoy them compared to, I guess, what you'd call a normal real estate shoot?
I do and I don't. The do part is they're definitely fun to creatively work on. And you could be a little bit more creative, if you will. You can also you can take a little bit more of a risk as well, and so forth. I mean, I would say when in terms of risk, I'm dipping my toe and I'm not going full ham.
By risk, you mean like artistic license kind of thing?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Like, at what point is it less about the house and shit and more about me? But in saying that, a standard traditional just show me the house, they're also really fun to make because they're quick.
Yeah.
You know, you can shoot one of those in 20 minutes. You can still be relatively creative. You just don't have to use those shots. Basically, in my head, I have a basic shot list that I go by, and when I, I'll get all that, and then I'll be like, oh, this will be kind of cool. I'll just do that, and I might do a little door transition thing or something like that. You know, I haven't done one of those in ages, but yeah, because it's usually a little bit more work in post. But when you're shooting 3 or 4 a day, it's all about turnaround. And I color grade everything. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I color correct everything. I don't necessarily grade it. I just want to get it relatively right.
Yeah.
Grading and color correction are two very different things.
I guess that the other topic I kind of want to talk about with regards to what you've been working on is also FPV.
Yeah.
What's new this week or this month? I should say this week.
I haven't bought a new drone in a week. I crashed my 7-inch. Yeah. That was depressing.
Yeah, but it's still...
Insert clip.
How many drones you got now?
I don't know.
That many?
Nah, it's not that many. I've got...
8?
No, not 8.
You've got a few. You're wondering if it's 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fuck yeah. I mean, yeah, it's 8.
You got 8?
It's about 8.
It's
about 8.
What?
Is it 8?
For anyone new to this channel or first time, because this is episode 1 of podcast, how would you rate us as far as FPV pilots go?
Novices.
Yeah. We've got a few years.
Nah,
maybe
man,
a year.
I haven't even got a year on me, I don't think.
You?
Oh, maybe it's close to a year.
Yeah, we've got only about a year, and we fly most weeks.
We try to.
Yeah.
Today is not a great day, though, because it's
raining.
raining.
Can you hear that rain?
Yeah, I don't think through the microphone.
No.
Yeah.
It's raining outside. But yeah, we do love FPV, and I definitely reckon we need to work and rain. We definitely need to work FPV. Granted, we're coming into winter now, though, into this podcast, I reckon, because it'd be cool to talk about
absolutely
FPV stuff we've been working on as well. Because it's
sorry, I'm just going to interject here.
Yeah.
But FPV doesn't necessarily, and I'm going to go back to what I've been working on. FPV doesn't necessarily have to be drone. It is just simply first-person view. And I did a first-person view in that last video where I made him hold a GoPro in front of his face and jump into the swimming pool and shit like that. Like that. That is first-person view.
Yeah.
No, it's not. That's third-person view, second-person view. But
was he looking back at him?
He was looking at himself.
Right. Okay, yeah.
But in saying that, though, that is still a creative sort of thing if you want it to be. Sorry, anyway.
Yeah, but it's... I'm going to say a nice thing about FPV droning is while we use it a little bit for work, it's not our primary source of income, but we do it so much because we love it.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be a nice thing to, I don't know, throughout the years, just document our little bit of progress in that, little things within.
I concur.
Because I reckon FPV drone flying is a little bit of that, what am I going to work on this month? I'm going to try and work on this trick or this gap or the skill. Yeah, and it is very much a stick time thing. And I think that's maybe why we love it so much.
I think it absolutely is. And I mean, yes, coming into winter is slightly depressing for us in the southern hemisphere. Good for you, northern hemisphere.
Yeah, summer's coming.
Yeah, and enjoy it, please. But in saying that, the challenge is that you just learn to fly inside, learn to fly tighter gaps, learn to just control what you're doing.
Get back into that simulator practice.
Yeah, I was more thinking literally flying inside.
I know. Yeah,
but I have 2 drones that can do that without making too much of a mess of a jigsaw puzzle on the kitchen table when Jess is doing one.
Yeah. Right. It's a big
Not speaking from experience at all.
Have you trashed a puzzle or flown a drone around?
1 or 2.
Oh, man, was she fuming?
I didn't sleep on the couch, but I definitely got the cold shoulder. It was icy that day.
Yeah.
No, she wasn't.
Middle of summer.
She was fine about it. She actually blamed the kids, and I was like, "No, it was me. I'm sorry, dear." And she's like, "Oh, okay."
I had a wedding last weekend, second shooting. Man, I love second shooting.
Yeah, man.
It's so nice. I do.
All care, no responsibility.
Yeah. And saying that, I was still, who I was shooting with was quite a lot younger.
Yeah.
But I was getting paid to be there.
Yeah.
And it was, so I still took charge quite a bit, but it kind of just the end of the day, it got to, I didn't even have to do the end of the day. It got to my finish time. Here's memory cards, walked away, and I forgot about it. Literally just didn't have to worry about it again.
I know. I love it. I've only second shot on a wedding once. And I was like, wow, this is great. I'm not going to say the money was great.
No,
it wasn't. But in saying that, I was home by 8 o'clock. And to be fair, at the time I had a really severe gutsache, so I needed to be home by 8 o'clock.
Oh, nice.
Not for lavatory purposes, but just because I was in so much freaking pain.
Right. Yeah. But no, that was loving it.
Yeah.
I went out on Chatty's Charters this week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it sounds way cooler. I didn't get to see any sharks, but documenting shark feeding.
They actually do that here?
Yeah, kind of. So because we've got a reserve, etc., out off the coast here.
Yes,
and
we do.
there was a university teacher from Otago came up and took a heap of boys high students out, and they've got this kind of like a bent pole with a feeder attached to it, and a GoPro looking down. They float up this feeder, they drop it down with the buoy, leave it there for an hour or so, and then bring it back up, and so they can document what sharks are down there and what they're trying to eat.
That's kind of cool. And I guess the water down here is quite a lot colder, so there's no chance of the GoPro overheating.
Yeah. Sometimes it took us a little while to find this buoy, but we just got this perfect day. It was just blue, clear skies, glassy hot water. Could see the mountain from out the coast. But I found out the night before, it's such short notice booking.
Yeah.
But that was good fun. Had that wedding. And then I've done lots of other small jobs, but I guess that big one is WOMAD, which we're going to talk about in a bit. What was our next topic?
WOMAD.
WOMAD?
Yeah.
I guess for those that don't have no idea what WOMAD is, it's the World of Music and Dance. It's a massive 3-day music, dance and food festival.
Yes, it is.
Which we had pretty decent roles as a part of.
I wasn't that. Mine wasn't that important.
Yeah, but I guess yours worked out real cruisy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but do you love a good cruisy job?
Yeah.
So what were you doing?
I was in sound for the Te Pai Pai stage.
Yeah.
And it was great. Which is a workshop. It essentially stands for workshop, I believe. I made that up, but...
I wonder if it means big workshop. Not sure.
No, te means the.
Yeah, but it's when something's twice, it emphasises the size.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't call it that big.
Yeah, maybe it means like bigger than just a one-on-one or something.
Well, it'd be kind of weird to pie. You'd be like, oh, where's the food at? There wasn't any food.
You mean to kai?
No, I know exactly what I mean. To pie. To pie.
So
I mean, for the American listeners, you're like, oh yeah, a bit of sweet pumpkin pie, and in New Zealand we're like, good old mince and cheese, mate.
We get tasty, savoury pies down here.
Yeah, we do.
And
the
all the
sweet
fruit
pies
ones.
are good though.
Yeah, love them
Sweet
both.
pies are good,
Yeah.
except the Christmas apple pie. That is a joke.
Why don't you like Christmas apple pie?
Why would you? It's a fruit pie. It's disgusting.
Oh man, see, Thomas loves all food.
Brendan doesn't.
Yeah. Thomas loves all food. Like,
Good for you.
Love
All right.
apple
Anyway,
pie.
WOMAD. So I was on the Te Pai Pai stage, which was the workshop stage. I was in front of house, so sound. And for the first time in, I think, at least 5 years, at least 4 of the artists turned up with their own engineer, which is great, which meant I could eat food, which I'm quite a fan of food. Good food.
Yeah,
not
food.
Not crap food.
Not all food.
And saying that
Deep fried bread.
fried bread you brought over was delicious.
Yeah.
It was really delicious. And that was expensive too.
Were they?
No, I'm being facetious.
Oh, yeah.
Sarcastic, sorry.
I say that because I didn't pay for it, but then I see what you mean. Yeah. I didn't know the price, yeah.
So, no, it was, it was cool, man. I got to meet some cool artists, and I would say one of my favourite artists that I did mix them actually, which was quite cool, was the Langan band.
Oh, yeah.
The Scottish boys, man. They were hilarious.
I got some footage of them, not on your stage, but...
I had some footage of them on my stage.
Oh, did you?
Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Oh, no, I do. It's not great, but anyway.
One of their songs over on the stage behind you, playing, boom, top string breaks.
Yeah.
Without dropping a beat, drops into a little vocal fill as he's changing guitars, tunes it up, and then carries on all without missing a beat.
Yeah.
I hadn't done any shots. I just suddenly flicked over to doing audio as well, because I've just been doing no audio. Gimbal, front center, right in his face, right, and then the string breaks. And I hadn't done that shot with audio the whole event. And I just chose to do it then. So I've got his front on, and he's just freaking out.
Yeah.
And then does it, and then losing his mind after he's pulled it off, just pinging with excitement.
He should have been, because that was the biggest show they've ever done.
Yeah.
That was the biggest show they've ever done.
Yeah, and that's...
For, I would say, 5,000 to 7,000 people in that one show?
Hard to say. It looks pretty packed up in there.
I think it would be about 5,000 to 7,000 at a guess, because it's.
I think the whole bowl's...
It was 14,000. I think was the
for the whole event.
The whole event, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon maybe half of them there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say. Maybe, I mean, third to half. Let's go with that.
Not sure, but it was.
They were
they packed
phenomenal.
it out, and they were great.
They really were. They were amazing. I mean, even at the workshop, I don't know if I told you this, but they had just got off a plane to Sydney. Essentially, I think that morning, were thrown on the Dell stage.
From Sydney, sorry. Yeah,
from Sydney.
Yeah.
Thrown on the Dell stage and then brought up to me.
Right.
Poor guys.
Oh, so were they workshopping, like, when did you have them?
After they'd done a live set.
second day.
Whatever day it was. I don't even know what day it was.
Right. But they were good lads.
They were awesome. It was a sad day I had them, yeah. So they hadn't had much sleep. They were incredibly jet lagged, and then they got me. And we got on like a house on fire. But they didn't know what to do. They were like, we don't actually know what to do. Like, what do we do? Do we play a set? What do we do? I'm like, just teach them a song, man. And they're like, oh, okay. So they did that.
Nice.
And they did. They taught a song. It was great. Cool. And they played a couple as well, which was kind of nice. And I was like, man, these guys are cool.
Yeah.
So, so I still haven't gone searching for their music, but I love it, man. They were awesome.
Oh, I loved my job for Woman. That was one of my favourite jobs I've ever done. I just had to shoot B-roll for 3 days.
Yes, yeah. And enjoy the festival.
Yeah.
As well.
And I did, but like walking around with the camera, so many people have just been friendly towards me. I got offered free food all the time. I got the deep fried bread, which is nice. I was, I'll shoot you a little bit of food B-roll and done. And then
that stuff is what gets people excited about coming back, though, man. Like you have the ability to make something look more epic than it probably was, but it is still epic.
Yeah,
you know,
if you're there for the whole 3 days and you're walking around trying to experience everything, that's exactly what I saw. Like, so if we get the permission to overlay some of that footage into this, all of this is only shot by me. There's no other camera crew there. If we can do it, or everything I shot from it, and so that was my experience.
Wasn't your edit though, was it?
No, I did the edit.
Oh, you did the edit.
I didn't get to pick the music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the first track. The WOMAD did.
Oh, okay.
So the first track they sent me Langdon Band, and said any of the songs, pick them, and I think that's the one you saw, the version you saw. They've since changed.
Aquaplane.
Aquaplane?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
That was the song.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, how did you know that?
Because they taught it to us.
Oh,
well, no, they didn't teach it. That was one of the only clips of them that I got.
Right.
Was them literally sitting on stage harmonising Aquaplane.
Because I think there's no vocals in that song, was there? No.
Yeah, there was. So it might be a different song. Don't worry about it.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. And then they WOMAD changed the song. They wanted something a bit more different to what Langdon Band offered, unfortunately, because I really like that original song.
Yeah.
But it still came out good.
Yeah, I get that.
But like I shot everything handheld.
No, you didn't.
Except for the drone and the 360.
Yeah.
Oh, and I did gimbal stuff.
You did gimbal stuff too, yeah.
I did gimbal with the wide angle. I used that a bit, yeah.
What you're saying there is that you could have easily done the whole thing handheld.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just nice when I wanted that bit more of a crane kind of shot.
Yeah.
To have, like, when I wanted to walk, not just lean.
Yeah.
Then the gimbal comes in and saves the day.
Gimbals have a place.
Yeah.
You know.
I think they take a little bit to get used to, I reckon, though.
Gimbals?
Back. Yeah,
100%. Because they're like an FPV quad. You can change them and tune them and make them better or worse if you don't know what you're doing, man.
I actually got paid to set one up for a guy down in Palmerston North this week as well. He had the RS2 Pro DJI.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got a full frame camera and stuff. And he goes, I'm just not liking the shots out of this. And I go, okay, well, let's balance it up. And I went to balance. He goes, what are you doing there? I go, just balancing. He goes, no, but he didn't know about the third balance.
Oh.
And he goes, that's probably just that alone is going to change everything because it was so incredibly off balance and you don't even balance in 2 axes.
Did he not read the instructions that they kind of hammer down your throat when you're setting those things up? Make sure you've done this. Watch the video on how to do it.
He's a busy guy. He doesn't do video for a job. He does a bit of marketing and other stuff. He's got a few businesses. Okay. But he just wanted it so when he does need to do a little bit, he was having, I think it was just instead of trying to do all that back and forth to find out what he's doing wrong, because I was there shooting other jobs for him, he goes, hey, can you take 20 minutes and just help me out with this? And it took me seconds to teach him and go for it. It was pretty good fun.
Gimbals, anything set up properly, man, and you're on a home stretch. It makes things so much easier. It actually encourages you to forget about how you're shooting your shot or what you're shooting your shot on and stuff like that, and just concentrate on the shot. So you take the emotion out of it. You take not the emotion, but you take the worrying about getting the right movement and all this kind of stuff because it'll go like this if I do blah. Once it's set up right, you forget that. You just know it's going to do what you tell it to.
Oh,
you have to set things up properly.
Yeah. And adapting that style depending on even just what lens or what kit you've got on that gimbal. I reckon like once I get over, say, around maybe 50 mil, I walk way less. I'm just doing far more of a lean with the gimbal.
Yeah.
But the wider I go, the more active I get. I don't know.
Movement's good.
It was... there's some stuff, I guess the reason I brought up WOMAD is there's some stuff I want to talk about coming up in this episode that was related to it, just because I was the only WOMAD videographer there.
Yeah.
And I think they had maybe 20, 30 media crew just doing photos and a little bit of video.
Was that photography club people?
That was 16 photographers.
Oh, okay.
But then there were quite a few independents, just like magazines and reviewers and stuff, but I was the only one there from WOMAD. I don't know what happened there at WOMAD. I got treated differently to everybody else.
In a negative way?
No, in a good way.
Well, why are you complaining?
No, I'm not.
Did you get fed?
Yeah, not because of WOMAD though, just because I had a big camera on me.
But that's what I'm meaning. Like, did WOMAD feed you? Because I got fed.
No, probably, but I never went
the
to
food
where
was
the food
good.
was.
Food was good. But they brought it to us.
Oh, I was never in one spot. Like, we had a media station, and I went there once near the end of the last day just because I needed to sit down. But constantly, stage managers would come out and go, right, everyone, all of you guys, out, except for me. And I didn't have a pre-word. I'd introduced myself and said hi. So maybe someone had said a pre-word behind me, but then I know quite a few stages as well. The stage managers were international stage managers. This wasn't a local stage manager. They're like bands brought their own stage manager.
Oh, okay.
And then, so I was going up and saying, hi, where can I go? What can I do? What are you guys after some footage of, kind of thing, having those conversations. And then everyone was getting kicked out after 3 minutes. I could go on stage, all gig, anywhere.
Yeah.
Just purely from having that conversation, introduce myself and
I also
helping
think,
them out.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing though, man, in that kind of a field of an industry and so forth. And I mean, I've been the sound guy, monitor engineer side of stage, and you've got these photographers and they just come in and they get in the way, and you're trying to. It's a pain in the ass, and so that they need to respect it. Like, I get you want to get your shot, whoop-de-doo, go for it, get your shot, but stay the shit out of the way, because the show's not actually about you; it's about the band and the artist, and that's why they're a little bit more. They're a bit more harder to deal with, or a little more. Sorry, let me rephrase it. They're more protective of their space.
Well, that's interesting you mentioned that, because the stage manager on the main stage, when I wanted to walk even just in front of him and over around kind of to the back of the stage a little bit, I asked his permission first. And the same on the Brooklyn stage, the stage behind you. Sound manager, I was like, hey, do you mind if I walk around here, kind of thing? Like, I didn't want to be going anywhere I'm going to trip over something I couldn't see or just get in the way, kind of thing.
Yeah, because you could shut a show down.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to do that. But everyone, I was just like, hey, do you mind if I go this way? Everyone said yes, because I asked politely, rather than just
100%.
Assuming, even climbing up on speakers and stuff, always asking
100% do that,
I think
because they might not be strapped down. You could tip over and have a big thing if you're going to climb on stuff.
Yeah, and
100%, and that gets you a long way.
And I'm wondering if just some of those conversations turn into other conversations like get these guys out, they're being a pain, but he's all good. and I wasn't privy to that. Like I wonder if something like that happened. But
To be fair, I would imagine it may well have done, because we definitely got reminded a few times. Hey man, like these photographers, you can tell them to piss off after 2 minutes,
right,
and they're not allowed to stay. They know full well they're not allowed to be across the front for long periods of time. So those conversations definitely happen. But I think I guess, not to quote Jared Boland, but just don't be an asshole. That's it. Don't be an asshole.
Part of that probably just come from greed, just trying to get your shot above at the cost of the show.
100%. And you're just an asshole, because that's it. But
and the
so I
solution
definitely
is the
think
polar opposite. I was like trying to be over polite and considerate, and it let me get more privilege and be more.
Yeah,
the shots that trying to be an asshole gets you.
Absolutely, but it's not always going to get you there. But you've at least taken proactive steps to not be an arsehole.
Oh, and I'd be every time absolutely happy if they just said no.
And you'd never come across as a twat or anything like that. Yeah, you're just like, you come across genuine. Hey man, is it cool? Like I don't want to make cause a fuss or anything like that. Can I just?
I think a big one was also asking bands or their managers, whatever, like, what are you guys after? Like, is there, because most of them actually didn't want more band footage, they wanted more crowd footage, because as you said, it was some of the biggest crowds they've ever done.
Yeah,
and they're like, we'd love just to show off how big this concert is.
Yeah, and can we just talk about because it was great and it was all good, and there was you mentioned earlier there was a group of 16 photographers from some camera club or something. I just want to point out,
I think it was a workshop. Yeah.
I'm going to point out that not a single one of them shot Pentax.
One of them owned Pentax, I know that.
Yeah, he did. But he didn't bring it with him.
Why do you bring that up, Brendan? Because I love your standing joke throughout that weekend.
Yeah, so I've got to keep it interesting for me. All right, and I've always done this. I'm a bit of a joker, if you will. I can be. And I made a hard and fast rule that nobody was allowed to shoot anything other than Pentax on my stage. So all 10 shots that you see were mostly shot on Canons and Nikons. But yeah, I would just have a bit of fun with people, man. And it got a few smiles and struck a few conversations, to the point, like you say, there was that Kuza that actually did have a Pentax at home, and so forth. And a couple of guys I spoke with, it was quite funny. They were like, Pentax, oh, you're that guy.
I'd be warning people.
Do you know they found one recently, a fossilized version? They're gonna clean it up and put it in a museum. It's just like,
I reckon if you're using Pentax and you're listening to this podcast or watching this podcast,
we don't hate you.
No, put down. I want, like, if you can, in the comments below, if you can prove that you've got a Pentax, ask a question. We'll answer that. You'll get prioritised just because you've got a Pentax. Yeah,
because no one loves the Pentax at the moment. No, Pentax is not getting any love. Well, are they still going?
I don't think they exist in New Zealand where we are.
I'm going to check that.
I think you might better get them here, but I don't think there's an official importer.
No, I think there is.
Is there?
Oh, well, there was when I last looked. You could be right, though. It might have changed.
I mean, I can't remember ever going to a camera store around the country and seeing Pentax.
I've never seen Pentax in a store, but I've definitely seen it online. Because I was looking for, a little while back, I wanted to...
We've lost you, mate.
I wanted to get a... what is it?
No, I'm saying your brain function is slipping as you're Googling.
No, I'm trying to think of the model. Photo Warehouse.
They say, oh, yeah?
Yeah, Photo Warehouse have them. Wait, hang on. That might actually just be...
Secondhand?
Binoculars.
Oh.
KensCameras.co.nz. Digital SLR. Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's a set of binoculars. It's literally a set of binoculars. And a lens. The fisheye lens, if you wanted a fisheye lens. There's a lens, another lens. Oh, wait, that's it. Oh, no, there's 3 pages. Wait, that's Ricoh. That's not Pentax. That is Pentax. That is Ricoh.
So as far as Pentax New Zealand going, you could
boom.
You found someone?
Boom. K70 DSLR. Contact us for availability. Here we go. They've got a Pentax KF DSLR with an 1855 in stock.
Who's they?
Photo Warehouse.
Oh yeah.
Yep, Photo Warehouse.
Yeah.
So and he owns his stuff. I know full well he buys and owns all his stuff. Wow.
Photo Warehouse is
K3
a real good company.
Mark III DSLR camera. Is that full frame? $4,100. Anyway, where I was going with that is I was looking for, I think it was the the medium format K.
Oh, yeah,
645, I think it is.
Yeah.
I was looking at that. I was like, man, that looks exciting and cool. Photo Warehouse for the win. They have Pentax. Whether they import them or not, it's another thing. But
not sure. But good company to deal with. I've had a few dealings with them. They are.
I have too. Yeah,
sponsored some videos in the past actually.
I don't hate them.
Yeah,
at all. Anyway,
it's now time for that part of the podcast where we go on to
the news.
Anyway. The sponsored section. So we are fortunate enough to be sponsored right off the bat. But we were talking about this previously. That we don't really want our sponsored sections to be a VPN or some cell phone game. None of that crap. So we're actually sponsored by the light that's here today.
Not that one.
Not that one.
And not Jesus.
That's where I was going. You close your eyes and think positive thoughts.
Yeah.
Pixel HK will bring light into your life for a fee.
Yeah, but do you know, man? I haven't really done any research on them other than playing with the app.
Are you about to mess with my light?
No, I was actually hoping they might have had something in here.
I've got some notes on these.
Okay, I'm pleased you do. But anyway, where I was going to go with it is that they aren't expensive.
No, that's actually my final point. My big selling point was these. So we've got two lights, blue RGB lights in the light in the background of this up, and they're only $200 each.
New Zealand or American?
American,
okay.
US dollars,
which is still a
really cheap. And I'm going to track them down. I've got some specs here because I reckon they're wickedly phenomenal for what they are, especially for that price. The 60 watts each, which is actually the same as this big light here. And I reckon 60 watts for like a small studio environment like this is pretty good power.
I think it's more than enough power.
Yeah, well, normally, because RGB, you're not normally lighting, you're not doing a huge area, I don't reckon. They're more for like adding tint and colour.
Yeah.
I suppose you can still use them in a daylight setting. But
you could do. You could. I mean, if you're wanting a sort of teal and orange kind of theme, whatever, you can,
But I reckon 60 watts is a good amount of power.
I think so.
This one, I only put down after us playing with these last weekend, or the weekend before, is they've got RGB and HSI.
I thought it was HSL.
Oh, sorry, HSL, sorry.
I think it's HSL, yeah.
Hue, saturation, luminance. It is I've just got a lowercase L in there, which looked like a I. Because also RGBW, because I'm an RGBW guy and you're an HSL guy, eh?
What?
Because weren't you...
No, you're the HSL
guy.
I'm the RGB guy.
I'm an HSL guy.
You're the weirdo.
Man, I'm screwing that up.
You're the weirdo.
I like my hue, saturation, and luminance because that's just how I've been editing for ages. And you're an RGBW guy.
Yeah, and that's from doing live shows and stuff.
Yeah, but I like that they had those. It's pretty much you can get the same. You can get the same outcome.
Yeah.
But two different ways of getting there depending on your preference. And I like that rather than just like this will do. Here's one.
Yeah.
Here's the lot. A big one is the CRI value of 97.
There's a big one.
That's really high.
One.
For those that aren't familiar with what CRI is.
Colour rendition index.
Well done. And it's pretty much how well the light represents similar light sources like tungsten or daylight or if you want it to look like any light, it's 97% accurate, which is phenomenally high.
Yeah, and the higher the CRI, the more expensive the light fitting, but the more accurate the colour rendition.
And so that high of a CRI value for $200 US, it's
a pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal.
How are they powered, Thomas?
So here in New Zealand, they didn't come with a New Zealand power adapter. So luckily I had some. That's a pretty common adapter. But you can also get them, it costs extra. You can get a little Sony batteries, the NPF batteries. You can get a little adapter so you can hook up, I think it's like 4 or 6 of them to power it externally if you want, which I reckon is cool if you need to go out, do like I've got a shoot in mind to do. I don't want to take a generator or whatever. I don't want to take small RGB lights. I want some medium-sized ones. I reckon that's very, very cool. But otherwise, it's just corded, which is how we run.
So they come with a power adapter?
Yes, but I didn't get any...
But not a figure 8 plug? You can get a figure 8 to ram in the other end?
Or
did you... Does that power supply come with it?
No, it came with the power supply. I just had to change the plug.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's what I was meaning.
For different parts of the world. Yeah, depending on where you are.
That's normal.
The app. Now, you really jumped on the app, eh?
Yeah, I did. I ironically can't get the damn thing to work now, which is hilarious. 2002 is my phone passcode, too, if you're wondering. I can. So what the app does, I was excited about the app. And I still am, but you can set up projects, which is kind of cool. But now for some silly reason, here we go, add group, scenes. Okay, so you can do scenes and so on and so forth. That's
So is the
cool.
scenes the cop car, the firelight, the lightning?
I'm going to go with that. I'm just right at the moment. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just trying to connect to the light. How about? Oh man, I'm just going. There's not a lot in this app, which is good. It's simple. I'll just push the plus scene. Let's just call it strobe. Strony. That's good England.
Projects is
devices. Here we go. Here we go. Add devices. All right. Searching. Okay, and it sees them both. So I can select them. I could have just hit select all and been done with it. This might screw up our scene. I'm sorry.
Well, see how we go. We've got the magic of editing to fix it.
Currently, it's processing. 1 of 2, 2 of 2. By the way, both lights have a firmware update. I know you were wondering about that. But here we go. So from the app, I haven't done anything, all right? And boom, I can control them. And now they're back.
I love grouping.
And now they're back on.
Yeah.
Individually. And I can change...
Especially say if your background's too bright and you want to change them both.
Can I take these home and update the firmware? Because this is annoying me.
What, having a firmware update?
Yeah.
I can just update them.
Yeah, but
we'll do it before the next one.
Sucks.
Yeah, but I can still do it.
Okay, so... Oh, maybe it is HSI, bro. Maybe it is hue, saturation, intensity. Not luminance, which is essentially the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is HSI, so...
Yeah. Okay.
So you can...
Which means I've got a capital I in my text.
Whoa, here's a go. There's a lot going on here. Okay. Effects, ambulance.
That's a lot brighter than I was...
Fire engine.
Far out.
Polizia. That's actually quite cool. Lightning, because lightning strikes. That's not terrible.
I'm looking forward to
SOS, is this Morse code? Must be Morse code, short.
I'm looking forward to you doing a montage of this.
Yeah. This is candlelight. It's probably a bit... Hang on, I can turn the intensity down. This is candlelight.
It's quite nice.
Okay, this is 11% candlelight.
Yeah.
And if you think, like, if you're doing a little scene in it, this is kind of a nice room for a scene like this.
If you want to say, if you've got an open fire and you don't want to light the fire and have the sound of the fire, one of these
you just put it in there.
Out.
You don't have to put any gel over top of it or anything like that. You just go, because gel's expensive. If you're familiar with gel. Cinema, what is that?
I think it's your TV screen. Like if you want it to look like a TV.
Oh, if you're in the cinema watching it, right?
Yeah.
If you're in the cinema watching something, that's kind of cool. Sorry, man.
Get back to the
police. Do the police again. This one's lightning 2, because, 2 lots of lightning is always better than 1.
Suits the rain today.
No, it doesn't. I love the rain. I love rain. I've said that already. So that's really, really kind of cool. I like that. And this is within the app. And bear in mind, once I figured out how to connect the devices, I was away.
Well, also, even without that, for those people that hate an app, you can access everything.
Let me just try and get these lights back under control.
With buttons just through the back of the... Is that intensity quite high?
Oopsie. Yeah, it was. I'm just trying to get it down to 2%. Oh, 1%. There we go. It's not quite the same colour that we had before, but it'll do.
Pretty close.
It's not bad. I did do it within this too, so...
right.
Normally I do the RGB and you're like...
we have our systems, you and me.
We do have our systems.
Change the system.
We're two very different people.
But essentially,
anyway.
that was your second time using the app, eh?
Correct, yeah. I hadn't looked at it since.
And it took you seconds to connect and get your head around it, which I think is actually a huge amount of credit to how easy the app is.
Yeah.
For those that don't like apps, there's buttons and screen on the back of these.
Is there a hand remote as well?
No,
that's for that one.
I've got that for this one. Yeah, but I reckon they're phenomenally easy. They're phenomenally accurate, and they're $200.
Yeah,
US dollars. I reckon they are.
$50 for a stand, and you got yourself a sweet little lighting setup. And what do they come with, man? Like they've got some barn doors on them. I can see that.
Yeah. They got the barn doors.
Is it barn doors or shutters? What do you call this? Either way,
I call them barn doors.
I call them barn doors too.
Yeah. But
they're not Fresnels.
What's Fresnels?
Carry on.
Okay. The only thing I've ever used in the past, because I've had these for a little while, as far as is it just like a pillowcase or a white sheet over them if you ever needed to fuse them down a little bit.
Yes.
But which doesn't look that professional, but you could also buy a softbox for them. I think they might even sell a softbox. I'd have to double check that.
You should double check that now. So we
but
can put that in correct.
You better get a softbox or make a softbox for them if you're doing a bit more direct light. But they're good.
Yeah.
They're really good. I've been really impressed with them.
And so they've got, so do they come with different colour? It'd be nice if we had some.
We can't be using them.
Yeah, because we're using them and we didn't get a third. But all jokes aside, like, so you could, at the moment they're diffused. All right, they've got a diffuser on them.
Yeah, that's built in.
Yeah. Is it built in, or can you take it out?
No, it's, I'm very sure it's in there.
I thought you could take it out.
Oh, maybe you can.
I thought you could.
But I guess if I was going to say a negative point about them.
Oh no, we can't be negative.
No. So, I mean, so these lights were.
Carry on, I'm listening.
No. While Brendan's off camera fiddling with the lights, these lights were given to us, so we didn't have to pay for them. But I always feel that also means I have to point out some of the negatives of them. And the only one I've been able to find is that they can be a little harsh straight away. Like as in, like all lights can be. They look so much better with a little bit of diffusion. We're running them just straight as they are at the moment with no extra diffusion.
Oh, there's the button I was looking for. It's at the top here. Oh shit, I don't want to break that connector. Which I won't. Leave my Versace's out of the way.
Is that just removing the bundles though?
I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, it's a slide. Okay. Oh god. All right, there we go. Oh shoot. Oh, so they diffuse all. Oh. Why do I think they had a slide in? Maybe that's one I've got at home.
So it's got a built-in diffuse.
Yeah, it's got a built-in diffuser.
Yeah.
That doesn't appear to come out.
No, but I don't know why you'd even want to take it out.
Brighter light.
True.
I'm just going by lights I've got at home where you do take them out.
Yeah.
Is all. Okay, so now that I've...
But this is all metal as well. It's not like it's plastic barn doors, which is nice.
No, the connectors feel plastic. Yeah,
the hinges are?
The connectors are
Oh,
plastic.
the connector on the side.
These, where they attach to the
right.
fixture. But they do feel
They're
really,
a solid build.
They do feel... I was going to say, they feel really good quality. Blue dabba-dee.
I think also running them at 2% is a pretty good testament to how good
You've got to pull the switch.
60 watts is. Well,
Yeah.
all we need is 2% of that 60.
Yeah, that'll do. We're not going. We weren't going for perfection here.
Quick little mid-show lighting change
Yeah.
for the sake of a review. But these are, we'll have a link for them down in the description below from Pixel HK. These are the P80s. They are accurate. They are cheap. They're useful.
They're 97% accurate.
97%, which if you look at lights is actually phenomenally accurate.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of brands start bragging after about 80%, so to get to 97 is...
Do they?
Yeah, I've seen people talk about 80% CRI value. Like they're happy with that. And I've used 80%. They are... Well, because when you go to RGB and you want blue or red or whatever, you're not replicating real life light.
No, not at all. And that's the thing. You're trying to replicate essentially the sunlight and so forth with your CRI.
That's when CRI matters. Yeah.
But in saying that too, we have not tested these with a light meter either because we don't have a Seconic light meter because they're expensive. Although I do know that Photo Warehouse do sell them, and I would like to take one for a spin at some point.
So Photo Warehouse, if you're watching this, because they have sponsored some content in the past, and you want to send Brendan a... What was it called? You got one in mind?
Oh, I don't care. I just want to... I genuinely want to try a light meter.
Oh, yeah?
Just to test accuracy and stuff like that. Because, it's like we were talking about earlier, when you're trying to get something right in camera, that's another tool to get it right in camera. Admittedly, I'm not going to use that on real estate. But if you're testing lights and so forth and you want to know exactly what, because this has got a bit of a magenta shift to it, I always notice that.
Right.
Okay. Want to get skin tones correct, then...
That's interesting. You say that. Yeah.
I think it was magenta. I can't remember. Looking at it now, it just looks normal.
It looks a little warm. Looks a little sunlighty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I think that's a nice little transition to the main subject, which
Have we
is...
not got there yet.
Pardon?
What?
Everything's still good?
Yeah.
On to the news.
Here you go then. What do you got?
Anyway. What did I title that? Have you got the notes there in front of you?
Subject 2, getting perfect colours in any condition.
Yes. So,
that was a great segue.
Yeah, it was
not
really
even
good.
planned. I like the in any condition part though.
Yeah, so any condition is the big part. So, I mean, if
Yeah.
you got perfect light, then you can like say, if you know it's sunlight, you set it to sunlight and you're pretty good. But it's WOMAD definitely inspired this when I was shooting under extreme RGB.
Yeah, you were. You were
conditions.
shooting under the worst possible.
And I had a lot of photographers coming up to me going, I'm really struggling with these lights, like getting colour right. And I was like, so reds are definitely, I know, can be real hard, especially real intense, strong concert reds can be real hard to get right. I was transitioning either between just cloudy and sunshine.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much dependent because it was sometimes they were during the day or during the night, etc. But you got to accept with concerts that your shot will not have nice skin tones in it sometimes. They will just be horrifically red or green or blue or
absolutely.
whatever.
And I mean, a lot of the time with shows and so on and so forth like that, like I've lit a few shows against my will, I'll be honest. But when you're lighting a show, like one of the key things is that if you want the subject to come off the stage and be a little bit more 3D, you have a nice tungsten light on them, with a nice warm light on their faces, whatever angles and so forth, and then blue behind them really pulls them off.
Yeah,
they look really good.
Especially if you're right at the back of that crowd, then that individual pops.
Yeah, color separation, man. It's color contrast. It's all in there. So, but the thing is if a rock and roll show and so forth, sometimes you might get red everywhere. And you might not get that white on their face.
If you're trying to get a shot of the drummer because you've been shooting the lead singer the
He's
whole time.
never got good lighting. The drummer never has good lighting.
But it's also, I think just trying to get their skin tones to look like skin tones, give up on that. Like, no, actually, accept they're in an RGB situation and lean into that stylized, it's going to be red or blue or green or whatever colour they're leaning into for the lighting of them.
They might look alien.
Yeah. But
they might not.
That's some of my footage if we can see that. Like, I've got those background people and I love the extreme colour shifts between some of the shots that I got. It's like it's
to be honest,
unique.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest with you, if you're really that worried, like with concert footage, if you're shots, not footage as such, but if you're really worried about the colour and you're really struggling to get it right, most photo editing softwares have this little function called black and white. Just go full black and white. No, seriously.
No, you are right.
Because it's timeless. Black and white is timeless.
And it's really, black and white also is really forgiving on really high ISO as well. Like I think can suit it as well, which quite often concert photography can require too.
You would need to be, because you're in such a dynamic lighting situation that you don't know what's coming up next unless you're the lighting designer.
Because I just, to do something different, I also shot all of my footage not in log. I shot it all baked in colours, so I've just got a little switch to quickly shift between white balances, and that's the colour is all straight out of camera. Yeah, as it was.
It's a testament to Fuji colours, though. To be fair,
and it was so nice for turning around stuff, just removing that. I like colour grading. Like you've definitely got me a lot more into.
I love it.
Not just seeing the benefit of it, but enjoying doing it.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy it, but not doing that for the sake of speed and just like, man, I got that job turned around faster, a lot faster than usual. And I've been doing a lot more just baked in. Now, I know we've talked about this before.
Have we?
Yeah, but I know not on the podcast, not the news. Oh. One day we'll do the news.
No, we won't.
Never. Is how you do your white balance and your colour.
How I do mine?
Yeah, because
set it and forget it, brother. 5,500 and walk away.
For everything. Because it's
for
white
everything.
balance correction in post, whether it's photo or video, pretty forgiving if you're shooting a kind of an open format, like raw or log, or depending if it's photo or video.
Yeah. I mean, I don't shoot raw anymore. I used to.
For video or for photo?
Video. Photos I shoot raw.
Yeah.
I just don't wear the shirt.
Yeah.
But for video, I just set everything at the same thing all day. It's never as good as getting it right in camera. But it's just one less thing to think about. It's like when I shoot a wedding, I don't shoot it with ND at all. I just crank the shutter.
Oh, no, that's another topic, actually. I'm a big fan of ramping shutter.
I just do it, man. It's one less thing to worry about. And all I have to worry about is my framing and my focus.
When I talked about that...
Is it too bright? Crank shutter. Carry on. It's not like, ND, and then you got to take the ND off because you're going inside. Doesn't matter.
And that'll be different if you're shooting cinema and you've got the time to really nail in everything properly. But like,
absolutely, that might not be your style.
I think that's actually a huge part of what this podcast is going to be. In a global sense, we live in a very small part of the world. Microscopic. But we are both very fortunate to work full-time with cameras. I reckon we make a pretty good living. I definitely know people that make more than me, but I don't think that'll ever change.
I do, right?
And a huge part of that is also just Time. As in, like someone's got a set budget, and it's never hundreds of millions of dollars. But it's
never hundreds of dollars either sometimes.
But you literally, to try and make as much profit out of any job as you possibly can, you've got to learn to do things as fast as you can.
Yeah, time is money. It's. I mean, it's a saying that everybody knows, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, you want to turn things around. The more you do, the more you make. It's as simple as that. That's how we kind of roll our philosophy. And if that means outsourcing some of your work, then do that for the sake of $50, $60 a job or more, and you can go and shoot 3 more jobs. Well, all of a sudden, you shoot 4 jobs in a day. 1 job pays for the editing of all 4 jobs, and you still make 3 jobs worth of income.
Good money. And it's. We were talking about this before we hit record, and I was hoping to do another episode on it, but we're going to bring it up now.
I think we should bring it up now because these seats are hideously uncomfortable.
So bring it up later.
These seats are uncomfortable.
No, I was just.
We're not talking about that.
I don't know what you. No, we're not talking about the seats. No.
Oh, I was talking about the seats in my car. Karen.
No, it's. I actually more and more enjoy working with a time constraint, more that time limitation.
You said that.
Because it's. I remember I used to be really frustrated by it. Going, man, I could do so much better with a bit more time, and I'm really frustrated with the time limitation of this. But the more and more I've worked with time restraints, the more and more I've learned to do things really quickly. And then every once in a while, when I get it that big of a budget, I'm doing stuff phenomenally better than I've ever done before because I know how to do so many of the little things so quick now.
Yeah.
And it's, I think, unfortunately, having that disappointing amount of time frame to get a job done makes you a better camera user, content creator, photographer, videographer, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's a really important lesson to struggle through for a long time. And it's kind of wraps up all quite nicely. Getting your colours right, like nailing, either like finding a white balance system that works for you that's not automatic white balance.
Don't use auto.
Is an incredibly important lesson.
Don't use auto.
Ever. I reckon I use 3. I use sunshine and daylight. Sunshine and shade. And then Kelvin.
Yeah.
If it's just looking weird and I don't know what it is, I go into Kelvin and I'll cycle through and go, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close is good enough because you can tweak a little bit in post. But then I know I've got that consistency when I get into post. All those shots that I know were Kelvin, I go tweak this exact same amount to look perfect. Done.
It's easy, and that's exactly it. I'm exactly the same. You know, I'll show. Oh, outside looks nice, great. Boom. I don't. To be fair, I less and less actually shift my colours around. My overall.
In post or in camera?
In post. Right. I never change it in camera.
Right.
Everything is set at the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it's lazy. You know, I should really sit down. Oh, you know, I need to match this light and blah, blah, blah. I don't.
Part of that's probably just that, like getting it done in the time though.
Yeah.
If you've got a post process that saves up for all those seconds you'd spend at each shot correcting, and it only costs you a fraction of that in post to get that perfect, more money made.
100%. One thing I do struggle with, though, I'll be honest, is actually, yours is a perfect example, is wood.
Yeah, I've really struggled in this room.
I always struggle with the wood. It's because it's so full of reds and yellows, which is also your skin tones.
How to get that separation as well.
Yeah, getting that separation is really challenging. But like shooting a Lockwood house, which is essentially all wood, like it looks warm and it's beautiful and so on and so forth. But man, it's a pig to get right. And look natural, so yeah, and get it just so. But I mean, that's experience and stuff. I don't shoot a lot.
Can be drastically different. Like they can have it quite warm like this, or they can have that whitewashed dry kind of thing. Like it's not apply, but yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah, no, you're right, and so forth. Like, I love going into a house that's white. I love a white house, not just for the fact that it looks really nice in post and that and so forth, but the fact that they look clean and so forth, and they also look bigger. Like a Lockwood house, this is a big ass room, but I mean it's a big ass room, but you know, like a Lockwood house, they just look small.
Oh man, I've been struggling with that because I really want dark walls in my new place. Yeah, but I don't want the crushing feeling of that. I want the larger space.
Go full white, man, because also then all of a sudden you've got all these bounce lights that you know. But I mean, it's just me.
I'll do like a feature wall or like splashbacks or something. I'll get there.
Yeah.
But how long have we been going for, man? I think we must be pretty good on time, eh?
Hour 10.
Hour 10. Should we wrap it up?
Like a gift or something?
No, I mean like call an end to the podcast recording.
Oh, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, yeah.
One thing I do want to mention though is if anyone has any questions, we'd love to end each episode with a bit of a Q&A.
Absolutely.
If you've made it all the way to the end of this episode and you want to ask a question, we said this in a pre-recording, put the number 8 in your question, just at the start or end or somewhere in the middle, whatever, and we'll definitely prioritise your question because we know you got all the way to the end.
Yeah, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, and that's if we start to get a little bit flooded with questions. I reckon, do we never mention that again? And just so if people watch the first one all the way to the end, they know the secret for the rest of
the secret sauce.
The secret sauce to get
man,
your question
we
answered.
put it in. We put it in. We just change the number.
Change the okay,
Change the
cool.
number per episode.
Yeah, yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've got a question, leave it down in the comments below. I reckon we're good enough to answer most stuff. I reckon I can answer anything.
Bro, if I can't, I'll just Google it.
Yeah. I had a pro photographer call me up this week actually going, hey man, what are those lights called for dark rooms? How do you get them? And
Black lights, UV lights.
Safe lights is the keyword you search to find them. But I just searched photography red light, like Google searched it, and I went, here you go, man. He goes, I knew you'd know. And I go, I literally just Googled it, mate. You could have done that. And he goes, but I knew you'd know.
He was just trying to have a conversation.
I was like, Photo Warehouse, have them, boom, here you go, sorted.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Google is a wonderful tool, man.
Yeah, man.
What would we do without it?
Oh, Google also brings up a lot of answers from people that don't know.
Let's not go down that road.
Yeah. And you can get that in a lot. I find that in a lot of like forum related social media kind of stuff as people, I know. So,
The internet has given a voice to people that shouldn't have a voice.
Yeah, exactly. Like us.
And here you are listening to us.
Sweet. Cool, man.
All right, man. Great episode. I think we covered some cool stuff.
I had fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
8 in the comments if you got a question, and it's a good one. I mean, it can be a crap one too, like, how many times do you poop a day?
What's wrong with... Oh, I'm not going to answer that. What's wrong with Christmas apple pie?
What's right with it?
Yeah, boom. That can be topic for next episode.
Kaki tag.